Hello, hello. Welcome back. I'm totally going to scrap what I planned to talk about in favor of I almost drowned today in the ocean in Bali. So that's just been top of my mind. So I thought I would talk about that since a podcast episode is due today, roughly around today. I try to get one out on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but yeah, it was really crazy. The waves are really crazy here at the Canggu beach, at least, and people were surfing and people were also swimming in the water. And I don't know if you know, I really love the beach. I'm always trying to find places near the beach, and I love going and stepping in the water and being in the water and feeling a oneness with nature when I'm immersed in it, especially if it's a beautiful color and just everything. Sadly, I will say so far, Bali has unfortunately had some really littered beaches. It's so awful to see how many people are not, I guess, respecting or treating this place um, and leaving a lot of like drinks and other trash around. There's different parts, of course. Some beaches are better managed and clean than others, but avoid Kuta Beach, I will say, if you ever come here. But today I was in Canggu for a couple of events, and it yeah just was thought I'd go for a quick swim, and just before I knew it, and I have swam like 100 laps in a pool before. Like I thought I was a strong swimmer, but I guess when the waves are choppy and rough and I feel like it's enveloping me unexpectedly or I'm swallowing water unexpectedly, it really makes me freak out. And I guess my swimsuit felt all constricted and it was really, really scary. I don't know if you've had anything like a near-death experience or anything close, please share with me over email or private message on social media or something. Because this was really like I didn't know how I ended up so deep out there. It wasn't my intention, and then I just couldn't get my feet to touch the ground. And I was paddling back towards shore, but for some reason it just felt not like a rip current, but it just felt like I couldn't really make any ground, and I was getting really, really tired. And so I did just start like trying to call out to the other people who were swimming for help. And I remember feeling embarrassed about it, but I was just like, no, I think I really need help. Like it was really, and this wasn't exactly the first time, well, the last time I thankfully had a companion with me. We were trying to snorkel. And again, I just felt really overwhelmed by the waves. Almost like I haven't really had a full-blown panic attack before, but from what I've heard from many other people and patients, that's just how it feels, just the heaviness, like you can't really control your breathing. And I knew that like now I had to calm down, I had to rest. I tried to lay on my back and swim on my back to get some moments of rest, but it still wasn't. It's just like that. I don't even know how to describe it. Just this like I'm like, huh, is this gonna be the end of my story or like my road? Like how horrible. I'm like I have no way of contacting my family and or anyone really, because I just there's not, as a solo traveler, it's not like I check in every day with anyone, although I guess I should for safety reasons. But it just was, I just couldn't really, yeah, believe like how quickly the energy left me, and just like how crazy it felt, because even after asking for help, some like two people swam towards me, and then it still was difficult for like all of us really to still maintain afloat. So I think one person left and went and got a surfboard. So thank God. I feel like I'm still fresh out from it and haven't fully processed it. But I'm just really so grateful to still be alive, and that people were great about when you ask for help. They really go out of their way for you, and like someone else on a surfboard came to and saved the other person who had come out to save me, and it just was like, oh my gosh, like I can't like, and it's really crazy because then it's like I've always loved the ocean, but I guess there's also always, not always, but there has been some fear of it starting from that snorkeling incident a few years ago. And I feel like I've been trying to get over that fear and like reassure myself, like, no, it's okay. Like you can learn to deal with this or you can manage it. But clearly there's still, and maybe it's because it triggered a reminder of how I felt before. So it yeah, I guess I don't know, wanted to share that. And also I guess just on the end result of just feeling really grateful that I do get to continue continue on. It just, yeah, almost some disbelief and a lot of other, just so many other emotions. Oh, but I wanted to say, like, yeah, I brought up those feelings of like not love hate with the ocean or like love fear, or just like positive and negative emotions with it, right? Because it's not like these two bad experiences ruined my entire opinion and love of the ocean. It's kind of like, I guess I feel this ambivalence with a couple other things in my life too, such as, yeah, um, seeing my family sometimes because it's like I miss them. I'd love to see them. And at the same time, I know it's really hard on my mental health when the topics come up regarding my life and their criticisms and comments that, yeah, are dismissive and uh, yeah, um, belittling and yeah, just really, it's the it's the mixed bag, right? But I think it's I'm learning and I'm taking this course right now, teaching on non-duality, really, and it's very interesting. Check her out if you're interested. It's Simone Soul. She's coached a lot of people. She's pretty well known, and her course is called Way of the Dragon. And I found the first chapter to be really fascinating, like with the non-duality in the world. It's like, what even does an adjective mean without its opposite, right? Like, how can you say something is tall if you don't have something that is short to kind of use as a reference point or comparison? And then, like, how can you really, so you can't really have one without the other. And I just found that to be really fascinating of a concept. And I just explored it with a couple other areas too, like what is good without bad, but that's always felt very clear cut for me. It's just like bad is anyone who harms other people. Like I feel like that's indisputably bad, no matter like if you didn't have good to compare it to. Although I guess if you were in a world where everyone hurt everyone and that was just the normal thing, then would you still judge people who do that as bad? I mean, it really was a total mind blah. It's yeah, it's really fascinating to think about these concepts, right? So, and then I guess it's like so many of us, I think, are trying to chase something that we want in order to avoid something that we don't want. And it's usually like the opposite ends of the spectrum. For example, us achievers might want to like chase success and not be a failure. But then it's like, ironically, to be a success, you have to get comfortable with failure too, and kind of like fail your way there. Because if you don't, I guess you still could. Some people really are blessed, maybe never having failed in their life. I know there are exceptions, but I think for others, when you really try to chase something, or like you really try to do something that is really meaningful to you, that you will experience failure along the way, at least in some shape or form, like even just your own insecurities or imposter syndrome or rejection at some point or neglect from like whatever you were trying to do. And yeah, or like some bad outcome, because that's humanity, that's being human, and we can't be perfect. So I just thought like, oh, that's fascinating, like just embrace both, know that they're both, that's two sides of the same coin, and really you can't have one without the other, and just allowing that. So like maybe if love and hate are also two sides of the same coin, then it's okay to just carry on with that ambivalence for something. So yeah, I kind of, in reflecting on this experience, it brought up thoughts regarding that too. And I think arguably some people would say like love and hate actually are like very similar, and the opposite would be total apathy or indifference. I think that that also is interesting because I think that's true too, just the the spectrum. So it's like, how do those relate then? To love something, you also have to be okay with the parts that are apathetic or indifferent. Like, I'm like, I don't have a great grasp on that one yet. Well, this episode, I guess, is just a quick one on me rambling and sharing something. And I know, right? Like, even now, I'm kind of like, why am I smiling about this? I mean, I know good things came from it, but it also yeah, I know that I have a hard time showing people when I am feeling really down or distraught. I usually self-isolate or like do that alone, or perhaps only with a few trusted friends, and chosen family, and or my therapist or my coach. So I'm just really grateful to have those safe spaces, and the more people I meet and the more conversations that I've been in, and also the more clients I've served, like some of them have told me like they've never had this sort of safe listener before in their lives. And I was like, that's that's awful. Like, we all need that in some form or another. And so yeah, and I know it's scary, but I'd really encourage you to be vulnerable with someone that you feel like you trust, or could trust, or with yeah, to create that safety for you. Like, you don't have to put that mask on all the time and be smiling. I just told a client this yesterday, actually. It's just like, it's okay. Oh my gosh, you're going through so much. Like, you don't need to, like, this, you could, like, please just, yeah, you don't need to expend any extra energy pretending to be or feel, or like pretending you're okay when you're not. And yeah, I just really wish we could, more and more people could give each other the freedom to do that. And yeah, and to be real and to have those kind of really genuine conversations and really support each other in that way. So yeah, I think those were my major thoughts coming out from this. And yeah. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I guess this is a just a short episode and update. What else can I say about Bali? It's been kind of interesting because some parts of it are so westernized. Like, just walking through one part of Canggu, or some parts, it's like, oh, you have all these high-end restaurants and things. It kind of gave off like LA vibes, like Los Angeles, California vibes. You got your avocado toast and your vegan stuff, and all these things. So uh, yeah, that's been my month impression so far. But I've also been not mostly staying in, but like staying in a lot, doing a couple or a bunch of different programs for work in preparation for my participation in the Asian Wander Women Conference Travel Summit in Taipei, Taiwan at the end of this month, which I can't believe it's already March 13th. Yeah, this conference, I think it's still not too late if you want to join us, is I think we have 70 people coming. It's March 28th to 31st, and Asian Wander Women is an amazing community that yeah, I think has over 2,000 members, and they invited me personally to be a speaker, or like help out with them, their events. And so I'm doing a mentorship pod that people can book 15-minute slots with me to get some laser coaching or consulting on whatever specific issue they'd like to bring to. I think it's a real table I have there. I have a booth, like a real table for there. So, and just really excited to meet all these other amazing women who have figured out how to live life, or are figuring out, like how to live life on their own terms and wander the world on their own terms while working online or working seasonally, or just, yeah, finding all these creative ways to really make their dream life and all their other dreams a reality. So yeah, I find them, everyone is super inspiring. And I've met some people from like the introduction matches that they've set us up with, and it's just really a wonderful community. So I hope you join us. It's not too late. It's yeah. So in preparation for that, doing a couple of various different programs, including this Way of the Dragon. And I'm also proud, I will say, I'm proud of like honing my program too. Like, I don't know why this name didn't come to me earlier. Tame the tiger. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, I've been advocating for Asian mental health and helping people specifically with that problem for years, for 5 years now. And like, why didn't I come up with that name early? It just like it now it seems so obvious, but I really, yeah, I'm loving the name. And it depends. You don't need to. I mean, sometimes just taming it isn't enough. Sometimes you need to like fully detox it, boot it out, at least temporarily, so you can really recover yourself and figure out who you really are outside of all of those high pressure or even toxic influences that you've been put subjected to, exposed to. And a lot of us, we didn't have that choice in our childhoods. We were told, like, you got to be this way because it's not safe to be anything outside of these boxes. You have to achieve, you have to do this or that, and all these check boxes and goalposts that somehow keep changing too, and that you can never quite reach it. And you're like, why is this all an illusion? Like, what is happening here? I can never please my family. I can never feel like enough. I could just never like be proud of myself genuinely, or relax, or like I just come up with something else that I got to do in order to like finally feel acceptable and good enough. And that's really the crux of the message of this podcast and like all the work that I do, which is that like you already have everything within you. Like, you are already a winner. You are already successful in your own unique way. Like, I truly believe that about every single person here on this planet. I mean, my only hesitation is like the ones who harm other people, like the murderers, rapists, abusers. I'm uh, like, but I know they have good points to them too. It's kind of like, but anyway, like, if you were just a kind, decent, or normal person, not normal person, but just most people have, yeah, you already have such wonderful qualities and experiences you've overcome and hardships and just like everything that your life experiences have given you and you've been through. Like, that is something so unique and wonderful to be celebrated. And I truly, like, it brings me so much joy to unlock that for other people. Like, I don't like calling myself a coach, I'll be honest. I feel it's like my role is more of like an authenticity activator. So just someone who can really see the strengths in other people and reflect them and draw them out and like really hype them up like a hype woman or wing woman, and celebrate them or help them see it too, or like offer them different perspectives. Like, there's so many things that I do in my work of supporting people. And yeah, it's just so meaningful, because then when people shine and they really root into their enoughness already right now, then they do amazing things. Like, every part of their life changes, like every single part, because they are a new person too, or they've really like unlocked what was always in them all along. So that's why this work, this mission is so deeply meaningful to me. And I'm excited that I'm putting together various tiers of Tame the Tiger program, including one-on-one, a hybrid, a group only, and even a self-paced, self-directed version, just so that people can get access to this work, and no matter what their resources or budget, because I truly believe in accessibility for everyone. And yeah, that's been something that's made being a business person hard, but I'm like, whatever. It's kind of like business, volunteer, nonprofit, like whatever this is, like I can find other ways to support myself. I've been doing writing and art and a variety of other things, like teaching to like review. Oh, I also am a paid community manager now, so I'm like, that's really exciting. So I feel that like I can do my own mixed way of helping people and really being part of something greater. So yeah, and part of me is even considering like, well, do I really want to let go of my medical skills entirely? Because the pap exams, the pap smear women's exams were really gratifying for me to do for people because so many have such a terrible experience with their gynecologists or their doctors that they just like are not sensitive at all to being gentle or their pain during just the simple process of doing a very intimate pelvic exam. And I've just seen like shadowed or seen other people, and I'm like, I can't believe you treat the patients like that. So I kind of feel like, uh, not that I have a duty, but it's like my way is gentle and understanding of the patient, and maybe I want to at least volunteer that in places and do that occasionally, as well as birth control counseling, of course, and just yeah, still busting those sex ed um, myths that many of us have grown up with, and we carry those throughout our entire lives sometimes too, because nobody told us otherwise, and there's all kinds of misinformation or false information on the internet, and then you barely have time with your doctor to ask these questions too in the 15-minute visit, and you're just like, where the heck? And so there's so much that I'm really leaning into that I'm finding is it does fit together. It is my life's purpose. So anyways, so the two programs that I have are Tame the Tiger, and I'm also reopening my women's body sensuality stripping off shame program. It's called Strip Off Shame for now. And we did a wonderful group program back in 2021. And I have two people on the wait list saying they want to do it again, but I've just been busy with a lot of other things to really focus on that. But I'm now gathering people again for that round. And there will be also a one-on-one version or even a self-paced one if you are interested. Just send me an email or DM, private message, or just get in contact with me to hear more about these and if they could help you or be a fit for you. So, okay, anyways, that was just a personal life update. Ooh, yeah, growing a lot. Holy cow. Like in especially in these past few months, I'm super duper grateful. And yeah, thank you for being here, being like a listener who actually checks out my podcast, and just really appreciate you sharing your time with me. I'd love to meet you live one day. If you'd like, you could just book a chat if we haven't met, especially before, whether in person or virtually. And yeah, if this podcast in any way moved you, or if you feel like this message needs to be shared with more people, please help me, I guess, spread the link around. Okay, thanks again, and have a wonderful Pi Day tomorrow and St. Patrick's Day coming up.